Welcome back at our leadership empowerment session this morning, and I have some challenges on my technology. Seems I can't get landscape, so I'm different this morning on portrait, but doesn't matter. We will continue with our training session this morning. 2 weeks ago, I started the series on compounding leadership growth, and I want to conclude the series today on this specific topic. But let us quickly read what the definition is of compounding leadership growth. I want to read it to you. This refers to the idea that small and consistent efforts and improvements in leadership skills, behaviours, habits can accumulate over a long period of time, resulting in significant and exponential growth in our leadership effectiveness. So this is what compounding leadership growth is all about. The key element of the compounding leadership growth includes continuous learning, consistent applications, feedback, reflections, understanding, and the impact of these efforts and how they will amplify over a period of time. We've looked last week at the importance of leadership development, why we need to develop ourselves, and we've also looked at strategies for compounding leadership growth. And there were 8 different strategies I've shared. And if you haven't watch this video, it is on my Facebook page, it is on my YouTube channel, and I want to invite you again to go to my YouTube channel, Hardus Pretorius, and follow me, subscribe to my YouTube channel. All my leadership empowerment sessions are on that platform as well. And we've also looked at the different things we need to do in overcoming these challenges. And today, we want to focus specifically on the overcoming of the challenges. Overcoming the challenges in compounding leadership growth is an integral part of the journey to become an effective leader. We need to hone these skills. We need to get this in our toolbox. A leader, once he steps into leadership, whether it's position or influence, which is leadership, we have an empty toolbox, and whatever we learn is added to our toolbox. And the more tools we have, the more effective we can become in that leader that will make a difference in people's lives. So here are a few strategies to address the common challenges. Dealing with setbacks. This is one thing that you will never get away from as a leader. And those are the things that we call setbacks, challenges. And how we cultivate an attitude of overcoming will help us to step up to a higher level of leadership. And this helps us to create opportunities for growth. Setbacks are not there to destroy us, but opportunities to hone our skills, to expand our knowledge, to help us to become more effective in our leadership. So we need to analyze every objective. We need to analyze every setback. Look at what are the things that are challenging us. Look at the things that are going wrong in our leadership environment. Analyze this. Identify specific lessons to learn. Because, as I've said, they are not there to destroy us. I've written a book on how storms are our training partners for success, that prepares us for a better future. So if you don't have this book, you can order it directly from me. Storms, the Shapers of Destiny. And I think it's an important book that we all must have. As a leader, as an individual, to look at setbacks and to look at things that go wrong in our lives. And as those things, we handle those things, we analyze the lessons we need to learn, and we adjust ourselves in our approaches. That will shape our future. That's the first thing, setbacks. And if you haven't experienced a setback in your life as a leader yet, because it's coming your way, for sure, as I'm sitting here this morning and talking to you, it will surely come your way. Number 2, time constraints. Clearly identify your priorities in life. Focus on the high impact activities. We cannot do everything. We can't do all things. But what you can do, do it effectively. Delegate tasks as far as possible. Use time management techniques to optimize your productivity. And I want to mention a few time management techniques. Remember, we cannot create time, we cannot make time. You can only manage your time. The clock is ticking. It's going on minute by minute by minute. We cannot change it, we can't turn it back, we can't stop it. This is part of everyday life, is time. So the first thing is time management techniques, and I want to mention quite a few this morning that will help you, and I'm using most of them in my life. Sometimes I need this strategy, other times I need that strategy, but we need to know all the various strategies. So time management techniques are strategies and approaches to help us to organize, to prioritize, and to allocate time to tasks. And this enhances our productivity, our effectiveness, and it reduces stress. And it will help you and me to make the most of our available time. So here are a few strategies that we can look at. Make a to-do list. And we have heard so much about a to-do list. The things that we need to do on a daily basis. Assigned for today, if we postpone the work today and we carry it over until tomorrow, where will we get the time to do tomorrow's work and the procrastinated work of yesterday? So do whatever you are set aside to do for today effectively. Prioritize your tasks. What are immediate? And I will get to the Pomodoro technique and the Eisenhower matrix. I will get into this just now, and then you will understand better on prioritizing your tasks based upon the importance of the task. And this help you to cross off completed tasks. Tick it, I've done this, I've done this. So every morning you sit and you work on what you need to do. Because last night we've worked on all the things that needs to be done today. This morning we evaluate, have the priorities changed? What time do I have? What has happened since last night and today that I need to understand and to work on? So on this compounding leadership growth, it's a process over a long period of time. Day by day, we increase this. So make a to-do list. You must have. And then another one that is not so commonly talked about is have a not to-do list. Get the things that are stealing your time. Put that on that list and tick it off so that we do not waste time. And one of our biggest time wasters is, funny enough, it's a funny sense of humor, is social media. That's one of our biggest stealers of time. It consumes our time, our energy. Yes, we all need social media. We do need to research. We are living in a global community. And social media is one way of connecting to this. But have you noticed, once you start on social media, starting perusing and look at different things, and then you realize, my goodness, I've wasted an hour, I wasted 2 hours, and I'm no longer on the topic that I was when I started off. So identify the time wasters television, sport. These are important things. But if it's not managed, it's going to steal your time. And especially in the time and the season we are living in, where we are working from home. It calls for a very disciplined lifestyle, to set aside time to do certain things. I've been working now from home since, 2005? It's nearly 20 years. And I had to develop certain principles in my life, certain priorities in my life. I start at a certain time, I finish at a certain time. Working from home, we tend to be more flexible, which is an advantage, but that flexibility steals also from us our time. Because now I'll quickly go this way or quickly go there, and when you come back an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours later, you've just lost time which you can never ever recuperate again. Work according to your diary, set your diary, and especially for pastors. Many people think because you're a pastor, you must be available at all times. It's not true. It's a lie. Work according to your diary. Allocate time. When people want to make an appointment, find out why. Tell them, I can see you this and that time for so long. And stick to your allocated time. Yes, if there's a crisis, that's something different. But if we do not do this, we will end up in a crisis. That's the first one. Make a to-do list and a not to-do list. The second one, strategy that I want to give to you on time management is the Eisenhower matrix, and there are 4 aspects in this matrix that we need to understand. We need to divide everything we have to do into 4 categories. The first category, number 1, it is urgent and important. So that's easy to determine that. How do you determine this? What will be the consequences of the things that I don't do? What will happen? That will determine the urgency and the importance of that specific task. That's the number 1. Number 2, things that are important but it's not urgent. I can do it later today, or I can do it tomorrow. The third thing, urgent but not important. That category is self-explanatory. It's urgent. It needs to be done. And the fourth category that we have to have in allocating our tasks in time slots, it's neither urgent nor important. And these things, it's easy to delegate it to somebody else. Don't do things that somebody else can do. Jethro said that to Moses. We cannot do all the things that comes our way, because things will come your way constantly. Divide that into the Eisenhower matrix. Through exercise, you will find it easier and easier to allocate that into the different categories. The second principle that we can use in time management is the Pomodoro technique. The Pomodoro technique is you break your work into intervals. And normally it's 25 minute intervals, then you take a short break to get your mind clear, to stand up, to stretch your legs, and come back. Take a 5-minute break every 25 minutes. Don't be a superhero. Yes, when you're on a roll, I'm an author myself. When you start writing, if you break after every 25 minutes, you have to get your train of thought in line again to start writing in. So certain tasks you cannot stop after 25 minutes. But on the overall, it's easier to work 25-minute intervals, take a 5-minute break, stand up, drink a glass of water, stretch your legs, feel better, clear your mind, and focus again. And after completion of the 4 Pomodoros, those 4 aspects, it will take you a longer time if you don't do this. Don't be brave. Don't be ignorant on this. Time blocking, the third thing, that's time blocking. Allocate specific times, set times aside for different tasks. And each category and activity, it helps you to prevent multitasking. People think they are very clever when they multitask. You lose effectivity on multitasking. It's not an excuse just to focus on one thing. But if you're multitasking, it means I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and I get confused and I can waste time. And multitasking has also an effect on your attention, on your focus, and your productivity. Finish a task, go to the next task, finish the task, tick it off, because after each completion, you're motivated for the next one. And now the other one I want to mention, another time management technique, is eat that frog. Tackle the most challenging or critical tasks in the time that you are most productive. For me, I'm the most productive in the mornings. Between 12 and 2, I'm not so productive. Then my body just wants to go into a siesta, rest a while. So what do? I tackle the frog. I eat the frog in the morning. All my difficult tasks, I get it done as quickly as possible while I'm fresh. Nobody can disturb me. That's why I'm a morning person. I stand up early in the morning, finish my tasks in the morning before I get busy during the day. And then in my off times, my low focus times, I read my emails, read my WhatsApps, things that don't require so much attention and focus. And from those things, you allocate them in your Eisenhower matrix. Then you block out time for that task. Schedule the time. And please, don't do everything today, because everybody will send you emails, send you messages, and all their challenges they are all priorities, but it might not be your priority. You're not rude, but you need to prioritize. Otherwise, everybody's priority will become your priority. The idea on eat that frog in the room is completing difficult tasks. Those tasks that we don't want to do. Send out a challenging email, phoning people, resolving problems. But do that early in the morning. That sets the tone for a positive, energetic day. The next aspect on time management is batching. Group similar tasks together. Tasks that will have approximately the same response, that you can copy and paste in your WhatsApps, in your emails. Just change names and details in that. So I love to do strategic planning, structuring programs, and try to invent things that can be repetitive without me repeating them. And through this batching, it helps us to dedicate time. It reduces context swapping or switching, and it improves your efficiency. Another technique is the Kanban boards, the whiteboard on your wall, where you write down all your tasks that needs to be done, your to-do list, your not to-do list, in progress, and in done. So you have your 4 groups. And as you finish one, move it to the next block, move it to the next block. That motivates you. That gives you that small little goals, and it compounds your energy levels. It brings you to a heightened level of commitment. Time tracking. When I was doing the evaluations, I'm also a business consultant doing time trackings, time allocations. I am a Paromnis qualified evaluator of tasks. Then when you do all these things and you sit down and you ask people, write down how much time you spend per telephone conversation, per email, per tasks. Then you can see what things takes a longer time. You get a better idea, because so many of us don't even know what is the average time spent on a task. And if it's small time slots, try to delegate that. Give that to somebody else. Remember, delegation is not dumping. Dumping is when you give somebody something to do and they can't benefit in their leadership, in their skills capacity. Then you have dumped something that you don't want to do. So when you delegate, it's always for improvement of the other person's skills level. And as I've said, limit your multitasking. And then there's another technique that can be used, and that's the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. This is quickly, it's over and done, and you can continue. It helps to clear your inbox. And if you do not answer an email now, where is priority, non-priority? If it's a non-priority, just send an email, received your email, I will get back to you once I have the information. Otherwise, that email will generate other emails. The person will think you have not received the email, or you have not looked at the email, they will send you another email. Don't take on things that you have to, sorry for stalling now, that you have to pick up twice. That wastes time. Delegate tasks. And then on our challenges, that remember we've just done a time management. The next one is resistance to change. People by nature don't want to change. They like the status quo. That's why many businessmen and women struggle. Many pastors struggle, especially post-COVID. COVID exposed so many things in our makeup. We wanted to go back to the things prior COVID, pre-COVID. It will never be the same again. A new culture has developed. People got exposed to different things. So we need to change the way we are doing things. Don't resist change, embrace change. Dr. John Maxwell says that it's only a fool that is doing the same things and expecting a different result. If the things you are doing are not working, change your techniques, change the way you are thinking, the way you are doing things, so that you can literally change the outcome. I can write you a letter that if you do not change the way you're doing things, you'll receive the same results next year. Clearly articulate your reasons behind the change, so you'll know this is the reason why I'm changing. I'm not changing for the sake of changing. I'm changing to adapt. If it was not for COVID, I would have never started my own publishing house, because suddenly the church was under pressure. I need to generate some other income, and now I started a publishing house to publish my books much cheaper and help other people to publish their first books. And for published authors, I can help them to publish books much cheaper because of the lack of overheads. If it was not for COVID that I had to change, I would have never done online teaching. Now suddenly, in the past 4 years, I've trained about 8 times more leaders than pre-COVID. This change. Change happens, it's inevitable. It comes your way. Be ready for change. And don't resist change. Another aspect that are restricting my growth is lack of resources. We need to become creative in applying our limited resources. 99% of us don't have unlimited resources. Even those that we consider as rich, even they have limited resources because their production, their work requires a larger sum of resources. So if they want to expand their influence, their footprint, it requires a greater amount of resources. So even they are limited to resources. So explore free and low-cost learning resources, such as online courses, webinars, podcasts. Leverage your mentorship program, or as we call it in our household, your sonship programs, to gain insight and understanding, to give advice, to become more effective. Another technique that are currently limiting us or challenge us in our growth is our comfort zones, and is closely related to resisting change. The difference between my comfort zone and the grave is just the depth. If I'm sitting in a comfort zone, there's no progress, there's no change. We shall not increase in our effectiveness whilst we are sitting in our comfort zone. We must set progressively challenging goals before us. I have made up my mind that I will write at least one book a year. So the most of the time I'm writing 2 books a year. But there's one. Now that you're accomplishing one comfortably, again, stretch your comfort zone. If you don't challenge yourself, we become emotionally obese. We have the information, we have the skills, we have the talents, but we don't practice it. We don't exercise it. We become obese. And if you become obese, you become ineffective in our leadership, in our skills. And it's like in rugby. If you don't use it, you will lose it. And I'm rushing, I want to finish in time. So we need to set aside a continuous learning. But there comes a continuous learning fatigue. Don't make learning boring. For me, funny enough, I don't like reading. And my work requires me to read a lot. I'm an external examiner for the MBA students of a Technikon here in Pretoria. That requires me to read thick dissertations and give comments, and so I need to be on the cutting edge of what is happening, and I must remain on that cutting edge. And the only way you can remain on the cutting edge is to read books, to be an eternal student. So I would prefer to watch a video. If I get a video instead of a written material, I would go for the video. So, but cultivate the learning experience, but don't make it boring. Allow your staff and encourage your staff to keep on learning, keep on improving, and don't make your training sessions predictable. If your training sessions are predictable, your staff will know what is coming and they will be less receptive of new information. So make learning exciting. So cultivate that resilience. Cultivate that thing inside of them that they want to learn. A learning culture in your organization is something that you instill in them. I challenge those that I mentor on a regular basis. I give them material to read. Then they must come back, give me feedback. And if they are not prepared, I will cancel the meeting. I will postpone it until they have read the material. Otherwise, they will come to your meetings just to receive, and there's no impartation, and there's no way of you knowing what they have digested, if I can use that term. So by employing these strategies, we can navigate through every challenge that we might face effectively, and ensuring that setbacks don't become our drawbacks, but stepping stones for an ongoing process of growth. So I want to encourage you, enjoy this journey of compounding leadership growth. And in closing, all my teachings are on my Facebook page. All my teachings are on my YouTube channel. Go and follow it. Follow on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. Read this material. Listen to this material. Watch this material. Everything is available. And if you want, you can also utilize this material for your own training, for your staff, and for your leaders. And if you want me to come and visit you at your organization, at your church, doesn't matter where you are, we can arrange it. I've traveled 22 countries in the past 7-8 years doing leadership training from the church to corporate to government. So enjoy the journey to your compounding leadership growth. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you.